Hi there and welcome to BROC Talk. I'm your host, Vicki Loomis with BROC Community Action. For those not familiar with BROC Community Action, it's our mission to offer hope, opportunity, and a path forward through our many programs. On today's show, I'll be speaking with my colleague Shelley Faris, team leader for the Economic and Workforce Development Program, and Tyler Jokinen, business counselor for our Micro Business Development Program, about how we can help your financial future at BROC Community Action. And part of our mission is the Sustainable Path Forward, and that is our Economic and Workforce Development Program. So we have Shelley Faris, team lead. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be
And
here.
Tyler Jokinen. Welcome.
A pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime. So if we want to start off with the financial piece of it, we do offer programs such as credit rebuilding, which is great for anybody looking to buy a home, car, go to college.
Or just repair their credit in general, or build it, deal with past debt, any of those things.
So-
And it's important to see a credit report just to make sure there's no errors on them, identity theft, numerous reasons. It's the report everyone goes to now to judge us, whether we're looking for a mortgage or a car loan or an apartment, and sometimes even employment. So it's important to see what's on those reports and make sure they're correct.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the things you can do for the credit rebuilding?
So we do have a contract with TransUnion, and we're able to pull a TransUnion report and go over it. I go over it line by line. I meet one-on-one with folks, and we go right through it and make sure everything's correct. Determine if there's anything that should be disputed, if there's errors on it. And then if there are some past issues with debt or even rebuilding credit, make suggestions on how this can be done. You don't, if you feel you've got a bad credit report and just gave up on it, you don't, because you can always rebuild your credit and things will fall off that report. The further you are from any negative history on that report, it impacts the score less and less. So you do have that opportunity to rebuild your credit score.
And the report that you pull, it's called a soft pull, I think?
Yeah, it's
so
a soft hit or a soft
report.
No. So typically, what impacts your credit report is looking for credit. So if you're going to a bank or a car dealer, looking for a car loan, looking for credit cards, anywhere you're looking to get credit or a loan extended to you, that will be what they call a hard hit, and that will affect your credit score whether you get the loan or not. Me, I'm not going to loan you any money, so it's not going to affect your credit score.
Right. And part of the credit rebuilding, we have another program, Vermont Match Savings, which can help with that. So can you tell us a little bit about Vermont Match Savings?
Yeah, Vermont Match Savings is actually part of that path forward you're talking about. And it's a match savings program where folks can save $1,000 over a 1 to 2 year period. If you're going to shoot for $500 a year, that would break down to $42 a month that you would bank at the Opportunities Credit Union. They're in Burlington, but they do serve all of Vermont. And then at the end of 12 months, you've got your $500 in there. $500 will be matched. Continue to saving a second year, another $500, and get matched another $500. Or if you are what I call a super saver and can get your $1,000 in 1 year, maybe with the help of taxes or something, then the $1,000 match happens right there at the 13th month. And this money can go towards purchasing a home, repairing the home if you've got one, purchasing a vehicle, or even doing an auto repair, post-secondary education or job training, and also for self-employment, for being employed in your own business. And even if you've already started that business, it can be to help enhance that business also.
Expand.
So it's
Okay.
not just for startups.
Okay, and speaking of small businesses, we have Tyler here with us, our Micro Business Development business counselor. So welcome. If you want to tell us a little bit about your program and what you do, that would be great.
So the majority of the time, I meet with clients one-on-one to help them start or grow small businesses. These are micro businesses. These have less than 5 employees. They're not turning a tremendous amount of revenue, but they add a lot of value to the individual and to the state economy. So the majority of small businesses in Vermont are actually very small, micro business. Solo entrepreneurs working from home, doing services. The individuals that I work with, some of them resurface hardwood floors, some run food trucks. One's looking to open a new tattoo parlor in downtown Rutland. So it's very exciting. They're very small, but what the nice thing about the program is it gives time to have one-on-one with each of them. So they come in and I find out what their pain point is. Maybe it's a traditional startup, so we're working through writing a business plan, developing initial marketing materials, and kind of going through that process, and that can take 4, 6, 12 weeks, depending on how complicated that business is. Some of them, it could be that they need to expand the business. They've been doing well, and now they're looking to reach into new markets. Others, they might be having issues. Sales is a huge problem. So maybe everything's in place, but they're not getting the sales volume they want. So we can work on a new marketing campaign. I help them through each step. So I'm kind of in the middle, and if they need to look for advanced counseling as far as working on taxes or going through a lawyer, then I help connect them with that. But the biggest part is I have a general expertise in all things small business, but I know enough to when we need to go to the expert in that stage.
Right, and you look at all angles, marketing, the business plan, the elevator pitch, all of it.
Absolutely.
From idea to opening day.
Yeah, so some of them I actually haven't practiced. The first thing they come into the office and they have to try to sell me the idea every time. So they get better at it.
Okay.
Maybe I bring them to other people. We try to sell the front desk. We try to go around and work on them building that confidence to be able to make that actual ask for the purchase. And it's about trying to sell value. So all the businesses offer a tremendous amount of value to the customers, but getting the customer to understand and see what that value is the hard part. If they could actually taste the food, they could experience the good artwork, they could experience a nice refinished hardwood floor. But getting that to transition through paper and copy and marketing is very difficult. So I try to base everything in reality and try to work towards them actually expanding sales and whatever that takes.
Okay, and part of that is kind of the learning and the education piece, and there's another program we offer, BROC shops.
Yay.
So we kind of hit lots of different topics with BROC shops, which is wonderful. So if you want to tell us a little bit about BROC shops you've had or are looking to have.
Okay, so we offer them here in Rutland. Sometimes they're in the daytime. The next one coming up is from 3 to 5 on March 24th, I believe, and that topic is going to be couponing.
That's
and we have a
exciting.
couponing expert coming
Nice.
to be our guest speaker and really tell us the ins and outs of how to save money in that grocery store or wherever else. I mean, coupons are now not just in grocery stores also.
Right, clothing online and everywhere.
And so we're looking forward to that. We had one a couple of years ago that was very successful, so we're going to do that again. We just had one in this past couple weeks ago on small business taxes. So the topics can vary.
Right, and then before that it was home repair,
Home
which is
repair,
great to save money.
and then there's one coming up in April. We're getting a guest speaker from the Opportunities Credit Union, and we're going to talk about home mortgages and what it takes to, walk into a financial institution and to be able to get that yes when you're applying for a home mortgage. So we really, and we're always looking for suggestions for those BROC shops because we want to make sure we're bringing the topics to the community that they're interested in. They're all free and open to the public, so like I said, depending on the guest speaker or the topic and when folks are available to come to our BROC shops, we vary them from mornings to afternoons to evenings and often repeat them again during the month at a different time so that hopefully everybody that wants to come and learn can.
Yes, that's great. We also have transition training available, so if you want to tell us a little bit about transition training, that would be great.
Transitional training is a program we are partners with Economic Services, and folks come for that have been out of the workforce for 4 or 5 years, maybe raising a family, now come into BROC as part of that contract and learn and brush up on skills so they can go out and get that job, whether it's secretarial skills or I don't know if they call them that anymore, secretarial skills, but computer, getting back into
Administrative.
using a computer and learning the different programs, and administrative, front desk. So we have various opportunities within our agency where folks can learn how to be kind of on-the-job training for some of those skills, or to brush up on some of those, that knowledge that you need to go out and find that job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so to circle back, so we have the Vermont Match Savings Program, which was since 2001
Correct.
in Rutland and
Yeah.
Bennington.
It
And
was
so-
called the IDA, Individual Development Accounts, up until 2017, I believe. And then when the federal government got out of the matching the program, the state of Vermont continued, but we now put our Vermont Match Savings on the name of it.
Nice. So it's within Vermont.
Yeah.
So since 2001, there has been 100 businesses that have opened.
100 plus, yeah.
And
We're
I think
still,
it's-
every month, more businesses are opening. So
Yeah, and we've had 38 people buy homes through
Purchase
the Vermont
homes,
Match. So
yeah.
it's a good number.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been very successful.
We cover Bennington and Rutland County.
And with those programs, there's only designated slots available. It's not like
Yeah.
it's free and open. So if anybody's interested, they should definitely reach out.
Yeah, but I do have slots available, so don't be, feel
Definitely
like, oh,
reach
I can't get in. Yes, you can. Give me a call. And as far as there is some income guidelines, if you do receive the earned income tax credit, then you would be eligible for this program.
Okay.
And it's a fairly high threshold, 200% of poverty, where you would still be eligible. Even under the homeowner, I think they've kind of loosened up that definition of first-time home buyer. It used to be haven't had your name on a deed in the last 3 years. I know from USDA Rural Development, they've just changed that to you don't currently have your name on a deed anywhere, you're still considered a first-time home buyer. So
Okay.
that's kind of a little extra plus for that too, so folks don't feel like, they're not eligible.
Yes, and part of the Vermont Match Savings, when that goes to developing a small business, then they would go to Tyler, and then maybe through a BROC shop, they would meet somebody through a bank where they could walk in and present their business idea and already have some sort of connection.
Yeah.
So nobody's siloed here,
No.
so we can all kind of help
We work
with
as a
that
team,
path forward.
definitely, especially around business. Tyler will help them write that business plan, brainstorm the marketing, a lot of pieces and parts to that business, and even try to find funding for some if they're eligible for certain funding that we're aware of. And so between the BROC shops, Tyler, especially around businesses, Vermont Match Savings, if you're going to invest $1,000 in your business, you might as well join the program and make it $2,000.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And and they can always come back to you. It's not like it's a one and done where they get their business going and then it's like, well, good luck to you. It's the door's always open.
Absolutely. The door is always open. So a lot of the clients, so even after they go through and they started the business plan, the business is up and running, they come back. So there are multiple who have been through the program, they've been successful, and now they're coming in to look for business expansions, they're coming in to look for ways to increase productivity, to increase efficiency of the program, to get more sales. So there's always a continuing thing. Maybe they've expanded, now they want to hire on an employee. So there's a lot of things that I can help them with, and to really, I've been there and done it myself personally, hiring employees, opening businesses. I have made the mistakes myself, and that's how I can help them avoid the mistakes. There's so many things that I can see based on working with these 35, 40 different businesses and all these different business models and people in different industries and the connections that flow from that. The expertise that I can help the individuals with is kind of seeing down the road, seeing to help prevent things. So a lot of the times when people first come in, I help them mitigate risk, see what type of insurances they may need, see where are the parts of the business that could fall apart. What happens if they get hurt? Where is there a plan for that? So I believe a lot in planning and making sure that all the financials really match up. So it's all based in reality. So the part I really enjoy doing is doing the financial projections for the businesses, coming down to writing the business plan. The financial projections are everything that they're going to take in as income, all of their expenses, and seeing where that profit comes at the end of the month, and seeing how that rolls over to the next month and how that grows and how that changes with hiring an employee, with expanding. How does the business pay for itself, for the insurance costs, for the liability, for everything, including marketing, including business expansion, and to have enough money for the owner to be able to take out enough to earn a good living.
To live.
Yeah, so there's a lot of costs associated with running a business. I think part of it is some people come in and we talk about the business, we find out where their passion is. The businesses that I find to be the most successful are the ones that have a passion. It's not, the business, of course, is for profit to make money for the individual, but if they don't have passion for the product that they're providing or the service, it won't succeed. So whatever the passion is, it has to be great enough to carry them through the whole startup process and the next 5, 10, 15 years of running this business. So a lot of it is a vetting process to make them realize that this is a huge commitment and it's going to take years and decades of your time in order to make this successful. There's no such thing as an overnight success. It's all background work and hundreds of hours spent late night working, researching, study. If you don't know, find somebody who has the answer. Keep learning, keep reading, because you never know when that knowledge is going to come into play to advance and grow the business. It's working full time plus 2 or 3 times. The amount of time and energy it takes to run a successful business is amazing, and I'm inspired by the individuals that walk through my door on a daily basis. They fight against so many seemingly insurmountable odds, but they succeed. They come in, they bring passion, they bring energy, they email me overnight and on the weekends. They come in first thing Monday morning, 8 o'clock, phone call, they want to talk, they have an idea, they've built new marketing material, they want it, and I help them kind of bring the scope of their plan down, keep that energy and focus it into the right directions to move things forward step by step. So anybody who wants to start or grow a small business in Rutland or Bennington County, I'd be more than happy to sit down with you to have a conversation about what that looks like, what the realities of that business look like, and what's the real possibility of it. So I'd be happy to sit down and talk with anybody who would want to pursue small business.
And we make direct phone numbers available, so if anybody wants to reach out, you can be reached at 802-665
1744.
1744.
or email.
Yeah, email at tjokinen@broc.org. So feel free to email or call anytime, and I will get back to you straight away, and we'll schedule an appointment to sit down and have that conversation and go from there.
And as far as Shelley Faris, you're also available directly if anybody's interested in Vermont Match Savings, any of our other
Building credit.
BROC
Or
shops.
just working on your monthly household budget. If things just aren't matching up, then come and see me. We'll just take a look at everything. Sometimes a second set of eyes can, or just having done this for 20 years, might make a suggestion or a referral that can help get you through that monthly crunch with your budget.
And referrals are important too. If there's something that you think you need to bring somebody else in, you can certainly connect people with the right places.
And if folks are eligible for a program that might keep more money in their pocket, then absolutely apply for that program. And you did mention a little bit too about the BROC shops are kind of that neutral ground where folks who, whether they're interested in buying a home, starting a business, or needing services, whether it's bookkeeping or a banker's loan or any other professionals, we try to be that place where you can come to our BROC shops, maybe meet those professionals kind of on that neutral territory, ask the questions, whereas you might not walk into Edward Jones to set up a retirement account, but if you met somebody at a BROC shop, it kind of breaks the ice. So it's a nice way to get connected. And also we find that our self-employed people, like Tyler said, they're often the one person running the business. It's a way they can meet other sole proprietors and kind of network, about what it's like to run a business by yourself and have that support going on.
Right. And so if anybody's interested in any of those, they can reach out to Shelley directly.
Yeah.
Email is sfaris with an A and one R.
Correct.
At broc.org.
And my phone number is 665-1742. Yes, I was
They're all so similar.
665-1742.
And so there's no beginning or end date as far as the Vermont Match Savings if somebody's interested.
It's rolling enrollment, and people come, everyone's a little bit different. People save Some are faster, some are, right on the regular $42 a month. And so we just, we make it work for everyone. I try to make it as user-friendly as possible.
Always, because the goal is, again, the sustainable path forward.
Yeah.
So we help people in crisis, the immediate need, and we also help people with the sustainable path forward so that they can hopefully not be in crisis again.
Yeah.
So programs like these are essential to that.
Yeah.
So is there any other piece of advice you'd want to offer somebody who's thinking about starting a business or thinking about looking into getting their credit repaired? I mean, that's a big step to take to
and
say,
it really
help
is all
with credit.
connected, whether you're starting a business, buying a house, going to school, looking to buy a car, looking at that credit report is key to all of life anymore when it comes to money. Working on a monthly budget, again, trying to incorporate a savings into that budget. So when the crises do come up in the future, you've got that little cushion to deal with them also.
Yeah, and it might seem overwhelming when, you hear a lot of save, 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 but when you feel like your budget is more than you can handle or
Right.
more than you can understand, it's
Yeah.
nice to have somebody step in and say, this is where we can help you.
Right.
So if anybody's interested in starting a business, what would be the first step they would take?
So
What do you want them to come in with?
the very first step would be to really understand and have a passion for that business. To have some sort of, the ones that are most successful have an expertise in that. So if you're really good at cooking, then maybe that is something and your passion is cooking. If you're really good with woodworking and working with your hands and you make amazing products, then there could potentially be a business to be built around that. It can be something that you already do in your daily life that can be expanded, that can be grown. I think a lot of the entrepreneurs, they start out doing the business on the side. So they start off doing this as something to make extra money, and they realize that they really enjoy this, and there's money coming in from it. Or it's a more traditional business model where there are other businesses like this. It makes it easy for us to kind of see who the competitors are, what they're doing well, what we can do better, and really helping that individual feel confident and motivated enough to do this. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of pizzazz to open a small business. I think connecting the individuals with other services as well. So they want to start the business, but their personal finances aren't really in order. So that can be reaching out to Shelley to help them get their credit better. Because if we're going to go for a business loan or something, their personal credit has to be good, especially initially when the business is in the startup. So for the individual to have a good foundation to then expand into the business. Now, that being said, a lot of businesses that have been the most successful actually start because they need to be. So somebody lost their job, they got laid off, they're looking for work, they can't find employment, so they take that as motivation and energy to open a small business. So I think the biggest thing is having the energy and the passion for it will far go above and beyond the economics. So if you don't feel like you have the resources to open a small business, you probably do. You just need to think, and we can brainstorm and come up with ways and figure out what grants may be available, what ways to apply for loans for the business that could be available, and to really have a firm grasp on what it would take to open that business. We work on finding out exactly what it would cost to get that first sale. Because if we can build sales, we can help all of their problems. So depending on the business and the individual and their background will depend on what we need to work on. So for the question of what do they first need to do for the small business, they really have to have passion. They have to have the energy in order to tackle this. And if somebody comes in with passion and energy, you can accomplish anything.
Right, because there will be hurdles.
Oh the hurdles are, yes, it's weekly, there's hurdles. There's employees, there's fires, there's sickness, there's all these things
But if
that
you
can
have the
stop
passion.
you. Yes, the passion is what it takes to wake up the day after you lost the largest business account and to go back again and try to get another one. Maybe it takes marketing out to 5,000 people to get 2 sales. You have to have the inner belief in yourself in order to do that, the courage that it takes in order to step back up to the plate, to take another shot. The biggest thing for businesses in order to get great success is to be open. You have to be open for those opportunities when they come available. You have to be open, you have to have insurance, you have to be ready to go every day. Maybe sure, nobody comes in or you have 2 customers come in. How can we get that to 3 customers? How can we get that to 4? I think it's growing on success, and if things aren't working, change something. Don't be afraid to change the business model. I think having the energy and the passion will make any business successful over the long run. Because if they have the energy and the ability to redress and rechange something and change it again. So sometimes the idea for the business maybe hasn't come yet, so we can change that scope. So if somebody wanted to start an internet business and it was 1950, the idea's time hadn't come yet. They'd have to wait so long, they'd grow old waiting for the internet to come around. But if that idea was today, it's an oversaturated market, so it's difficult. So
Right.
It's always changing and evolving. So I think trying to stay up to date on education and what's going on in the industry that you're working in, what are the trends and how can you disrupt those trends. So sometimes like starting a small business can be good because you can actually disrupt some of the larger businesses and do things differently. You can move faster. So it would take on a scale for a larger business to shift focus, to shift employees, to shift all these resources, where the small one can be much more maneuverable. So you can move on trends, so you can really capitalize on those experiences, those expectations of the marketplace. So I think delivering a product that has more value than what the price is being paid for will sell time and time again. So I talk about, it's kind of a value-added proposition. So what can you do to make somebody get more value out of than the price point they're paying? So that could be that they're getting not just this cup, so selling somebody the cup, but they're actually getting a bond with an organization such as BROC Community Action that helps so many people.
Right.
So maybe this cup's available, it's $20. It's a lot for a cup, but think about all the good that would do. We're not selling cups.
We're not selling cups, we're not selling $20 cups.
Not yet. Well, but the idea is to add the value. So it's not just a mug. The reason for anything is that it's more. There's more meaning, there's more passion. It means something to them.
There's a connection.
There's a connection. So, and part of that path forward, and I firmly believe that there's no silos. So I reach out and meet with everybody in the community, Vermont Department of Labor, Vermont Department of Education,
Yeah, folk rehab.
The ICANN program, News Story Center. So any of these different resources for anyone with business. So I find out where they are now, what resources they have, what the business they want to start is, and then bring down that business to a goal that we can achieve in a reasonable timeline so they can start and then grow to their large goal. I want to know what their goal is 5 years from now. I want to know what their goal is this spring. So maybe you want to open a large business, but we can't connect the resources and the time, and honestly, even if you had all that money given to you to start this business, you're not ready. The best thing is to bootstrap the business, get that first sale, get the money coming in, and learn as you go. Because if you have the capital right away, there's no easier way than to lose a whole bunch of money than be in debt and then owing on a business than to start off with money but no experience. So sometimes growing a business slow and learning as you go can actually be the best way for long-term economic success. And part of the program with the Vermont Match Savings and Shelley is really getting in those steps to save money towards a long-term goal and developing the habit of saving. So with a business, we could work on the plan over time, save money towards that goal, learn, get education, learn about taxes, and if you're going to go in business, then you're either going to be best friends with an accountant or CPA, or
Yes.
you got to love learning about taxes. And it's important, even if you do those business taxes out to somebody else, and you should always hire a professional. It's my firm belief, because you should be working on the business, working on growing, so you can pay the professionals to do their job, which they're experts in. But you should know it. You should understand what the business Schedule C is. You should never hire an employee unless you know how to do what their job is or to understand it well enough to be able to control that. It's important on the expansion to understand all the different factors.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested in or thinking about even starting a business, needs to help with their credit repair, wants to attend a BROC shop, please reach out.
Yeah.
665-1744 for Tyler, 665-1742 for Shelley, or you can email, and you can also visit us at broc.org. So thank you to Shelley and Tyler for joining us today, and thank you for tuning in to BROC Talk, and we'll talk again.